Matter of fact, the entire time that you looked out at that vehicle with that clear and that good view, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary, did you?
No.
And you would agree with me, as you looked at the SUV, you're looking over the lawn to the SUV out of the street, correct?
Correct.
There was no obstruction between you and the SUV. You've already testified to that, is that right?
Correct.
And you could see everything in your field of view.
Correct.
And then you saw the SUV gone. It had driven away after 12:45.
Correct.
So I have a question, Ms. McCabe. Where was the body?
I have no idea. I'm assuming the body was on the front lawn.
The problem with that is you were looking at the front lawn, weren't you?
I was looking at the vehicle and where it had moved.
You know what field of view is?
Would you like to explain it?
You had a clear and good view across that lawn to the SUV, didn't you?
When it was straight out, I did, yes.
You had a clear and good view of that SUV the entire time until it left, didn't you?
I could see the black SUV, correct.
Nothing was obstructing your vision.
I wasn't looking at the ground.
I didn't ask you about the ground yet. We'll get to the ground. Nothing was obstructing your vision, was it?
No.
So you had a clear and good, your words, not mine, a clear and good view of the SUV
Yes.
and everything in front of it.
I never said everything in front of it. I saw the SUV. It's black. It has lights on. And as it moved, I could see it with its lights.
And you had a clear view of everything between you and the SUV. All the things closer to you and the SUV.
I wouldn't say that.
So your view was obstructed on what was between you and the SUV, but not obstructed on the SUV?
That's not what I was saying.
No, of course not. Because if you had a clear field of view to the SUV, you could see everything in front of it as well, meaning between you and the SUV as well.
If I'm looking straight out at an SUV, I'm not looking down at the ground.
Let me ask you a question about that. You're focusing right now on my face
Yes.
as you're answering these questions. You think you'd see, I don't know, an alligator sitting in front of me if it was there?
Objection.
Yes.
I think you would see something. Can you clearly see that there is nothing between you and me except a podium?
Yes. Well, there's a table.
And you don't have to look down to see that, right?
Correct.
You're looking directly in my face, but you can see things that are between you and me because you have a field of vision, right?
Objection.
I'm going to see counsel at sidebar for just a minute.
May I proceed?
Yes.
Ms. McCabe, as you looked over that flat lawn with that good and clear view of the SUV, you could see the SUV and everything between you and the SUV, correct?
When I looked out the front window, I could see the SUV clearly, like I'm looking at you right now, and it was further away than you are.
And you did it not once, not twice, not 3 times. You did it 5 times, and then a 6th after it was gone, correct?
Correct.
And after that SUV was gone, and you looked out that window with that clear and good view, there was no body, was there?
I never saw a body.
Thank you.
I wish I had.
Sounds like that's a little rehearsed.
Not at all. It's not at
Objection.
all.
I'll let the answers.
Let's get this on the record. Did John O'Keefe come into your house at 34 Fairview at any time on January 29th, 2022?
Absolutely not. I wished he had.
And you're as sure about that as you are about the statement that you had never met or seen Carrie Reed in your life,
Objection.
correct?
Sustain. Can I ask it differently, Mr. Jackson?
There was no body, was there?
I never saw a body.
Thank you.
I wish I had.
Sounds like that's a little rehearsed.
Not at all.
Absolutely not. I wished he had.
I wish I had.
You left the location about 1:45, is that right?
Yes.
When you got in that SUV of yours, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary outside, correct?
I wasn't looking outside.
Okay. I know that that is the answer that you want to give to every question. My question is yes or no. Did you see anything out of the ordinary?
No.
Thank you. You didn't see anything out of the ordinary when you got in the vehicle? You didn't see anything out of the ordinary when the vehicle backed up? When that vehicle turned to the right to leave toward Chapman and the headlights illuminated the area in front of you? Didn't see anything out of the ordinary then?
I wasn't looking out the front window.
Again, there's that answer. My question is, did you see anything out of the ordinary?
Well, you were asking about the headlights out the front. That's why I said I didn't see anything out there front.
Oh, you didn't see the headlights turned on?
I was turned to the back.
Did you see that the headlights came on in the car?
Yes, in the driveway, the headlights came on.
Right. And you're seated in the front passenger seat, correct?
Correct.
So, according to you, you got in the car and immediately twisted yourself, looking directly to the rear, and never turned back around and never looked outside the windows.
Correct.
Got it. Is that normal for you?
Yeah, I'm a very chatty person, so I turned to talk to the girls.
So you made sure that you didn't look out the window.
Nope, that's not it at all.
You also didn't hear anybody, you did hear some girls in the back, since they were so chatty, talking about bread and sandwiches or something, right?
Correct.
But you never heard anybody say anything about noticing anything out of the ordinary, correct?
Correct.
You didn't hear Julie Nagel say that she saw a black object in the yard.
Never heard that.
When you got home, what did you do?
I went up to bed. Somewhere after approximately between 2 and 2:15.
When you got home, you got on your phone, correct?
Yes.
Before you got on your phone, you went upstairs to your bedroom.
Yes.
Did you text anybody?
I did, yes.
Who did you text?
I texted my sisters, and I texted my husband and a friend in a group chat.
You texted your husband and a friend in a group chat? Your husband was home?
Yes.
I want to switch gears for a second. You testified on Friday that my client said at the scene, when you got back to the scene, 34 Fairview, just after 6 a.m., that she said, I hit him 3 times. She declared it, correct?
Correct.
Not once, not twice, 3 times. I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, correct?
Correct.
You have a very specific memory of that event, do you not?
I do.
Obviously, that's an incredibly impactful thing for you to remember. Is that right?
It was an impactful statement, yes.
And you remember it today as well as you remembered it the day she did it.
Yes.
I'm going to hand you a document. There's a document in front of you. You recognize it?
Yes.
That is, in fact, a true and correct copy of your grand jury testimony on that you gave on April 26th, 2022. Is that right?
Correct.
You'll agree that your testimony in that hearing, April of 2022, that was just a few months after the events in question, right?
Yes.
Ms. McCabe, I'd like you to turn to the page, since you've reviewed this, turn to the page of that document where you ever said in your testimony that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Was I asked what she said?
I get to ask the questions.
Well, I'd like you to direct me where to look.
I want you to look at the entire grand jury testimony if you need to, and turn to the page where you ever said that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
I'm not sure if it's in this document, but I can tell you today with 100% clarity, she said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him on that morning.
So it's not in that document, is it?
I'm not sure if I could take the time, and do you want me to read over 200 pages?
May I approach?
Yes.
No, I don't want to take the time. Because you just indicated that you reviewed this document in anticipation of your testimony, right?
Correct.
So you've gone over it recently.
A few weeks back.
So we don't need to read it. You know that you never testified to that in the grand jury in April of 2022, don't you?
I don't know that as a fact. I would have to reread 222 pages, or however long it is.
You think you might have missed it when you reviewed your transcript in anticipation for your testimony?
Objection.
I read it a few weeks ago,
Probably the most powerful part of your testimony, ma'am.
and I will never forget it.
Objection.
Okay, so that's stricken.
Would you agree? Do you think that's a powerful part of your testimony?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
It is, yes.
Did you see it in the transcript?
I cannot recall. It's over 200 pages.
Yeah, approach on.
Yes.
These are select pages out of your grand jury testimony. Isn't it true, Ms. McCabe, that you were asked when you testified no fewer than 12 times what my client said, either at the scene or on the way to the scene? Isn't it true that in April of 2022, you testified no fewer than 12 times, 12 separate statements you gave about what my client's statements were, either at the scene? You remember that?
I do.
Okay, so on page 190, you testified that my client said to you over the phone at 4:53 a.m., she asked the question, did I hit him? You see that?
I do.
Number two, talking about when y'all were in the car on the way to the scene, Karen asked the question, could I have hit him? You see that?
Yes.
Page 193, you testified that in the car, once again, she asked the question, could she have hit him? Meaning, could I have hit him? Correct?
Correct.
Page 193, in John's driveway, she asked the question, quote, and she is asking if she could have hit him.
Yes.
Page 201, driving to Fairview, she asked the question, what if I hit him? And could I have hit him? Correct?
Correct.
Page 202, while driving to Fairview, she asked the question, could I have hit him?
Correct.
Page 208, outside at Fairview, she asked the question, did I hit him? And went on to ask, could I have hit him? Correct?
Correct.
And your testimony was also on page 208 that Karen was yelling nonstop in front of the female EMT, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Is he dead?
Correct.
May I approach?
Yes.
You called your sister at 6:07 and 42 seconds, correct? And you made a second phone call at 6:08 and 17 seconds. Does that sound about right?
I did call her twice, yes.
And both of those calls show in your extraction that they were answered phone calls, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And at that time, you were confronted with the fact that the phone records show a 7-second call for 6:07, correct?
Objection.
I'm going to strike the word confronted. Go ahead and ask.
I'll pick another
Go
word.
ahead and
You
ask the
were- You
question.
were shown evidence that the 6:07 call lasted 7 seconds.
My sister never answered the phone.
Okay. I know you want to answer your own questions.
Yeah.
I'd like you to answer my question. Were you shown records that showed the call lasted 7 seconds?
I cannot recall the exact record I was shown, but I was shown a phone record.
Okay. And you were shown that the same phone record showed that the 6:08 call lasted 8 seconds, right? Does that sound about right?
About right, and there were a number of other calls that showed answered that weren't answered.
Well, we'll get to those in a minute. You made a phone call to Brian Albert as well, right?
I believe so.
That was around 6:23. It was a few minutes after you had called Nicole twice, right?
Correct.
And that call was not answered.
None of them were answered.
But the record showed that that call was not answered, as opposed to Nicole's 2 calls, right?
Right.
Okay. The calls to Nicole were deleted from your phone before you turned that phone into law enforcement, weren't they?
Not by me.
By somebody else?
I never deleted any calls when I willingly handed my phone over.
You
claim that you didn't delete calls, but you do know that your phone was forensically analyzed, and those calls were in the deleted file folder, correct?
I have seen that, but there were 20 calls, all in a group that were all deleted. So cherry picking a few makes it look a different way.
Okay, so we'll get to those. I'm not cherry picking anything, I'm asking you questions about the records.
Which I would love a copy of if I could see.
We'll get to that in a second. By the way, did you leave voicemails?
No.
When did you hang up? Before it went to voicemail, or was it into voicemail before you hung up?
So it was a bit of a hysterical scene that morning, and I was in a state of shock, and I was just calling my sister and my brother-in-law. They did not answer the phone. I cannot tell you when I hung up because it was a hysterical scene. I was in a state of shock. Everyone was running around, and what seems to be forgotten is that my friend was lying there on the ground.
Oh, I don't think anybody's forgotten that. You, in fact, do agree with me that Brian and Nicole Albert, Brian Albert being a police officer, never came out of the house, right?
Correct. Neither did any neighbor.
I know you'd like to continue editorializing after the fact. There's probably a time and a place for it. This isn't it. If you can answer my question, I'd ask that you do that. Did Brian Albert come out of the house?
No.
Did Nicole Albert come out of the house?
No.
Thank you. How many of the initial police officers from Canton Police Department who responded to the scene were you friends with?
I would say I am friendly with Mike Lank. He was 5 years older than me. I knew him growing up. If I saw him around town, I would say, "Hey, how are you?" Pretty much that's the extent.
What about Chris Albert?
Yes, I know Chris
How long have you known Chris?
since childhood.
And how would you describe your relationship with Chris Albert?
Chris and I were pretty good friends growing up, right into our 20s. Still friendly when I see him.
What about Brian Albert?
No.
How would you describe your relationship with him?
Civil.
Friendly?
Exchange pleasantries when I see him. Hello.
But you're closer to Chris. Back in 2002 in August, while you were off duty, were you at a bar?
I was.
At some point, did you realize that Chris was getting into some sort of a physical altercation with somebody else in a parking lot?
Yes.
Did you jump into a fist fight in order to protect Chris Albert?
Stated that he had been in an altercation earlier in the night with one of the Lapalato brothers, and that during that altercation, threats were made against him and his family, and he was seeking advice because he knew as a police officer as to how he should go forward. And as I was telling him what to do, that's when a group of men started to walk down Washington Street towards Chris, and he said, "Oh no, here they come."
So that would be Mark Lapalato, correct?
Yes.
And his brother Alfredo.
Alfredo.
Sorry. After Alfredo was handcuffed and, for all intents and purposes, physically incapacitated, you then approached Mark Lapalato.
No.
You got into a fight with Mark Lapalato.
Yes.
You punched him in the face.
At one point after he had struck me, yes. I don't know what his story is.
Well, you were sued in federal court, and he told you his story in that lawsuit, correct? The allegation that Mark Lapalato made against you is that you punched him, took him to the ground, continued to beat him, and bit him to the point of drawing blood, correct?
I believe that was his allegation, yes.
Then indicated that once the police officers that were there pulled you off of him, you then turned and walked over to Alfredo while he was still incapacitated, meaning physically handcuffed, and spat in his face.
I believe that was his allegation, yes.
Between the time this fight happened and you filed a report, Mark Lapalato and his brother Alfredo came into Canton PD and asked to swear out a complaint against you and fellow officers, correct?
I believe so.
And they were told to go away on that day.
I couldn't speak to that.
By the time they came back to file the complaint, then police reports had been written, right?
I don't know.
Once those police reports were written, after they indicated that they wanted to file a complaint, ultimately charges were brought against them. After charges had been brought, and both brothers ended up having to go to court and defend themselves, you ran into both brothers at a mobile gas station.
Yes.
Did you say, "How are you doing?"
Something to that nature.
And did they respond? Something to the effect of, "I'm not doing so good because you attacked me and now I've got to defend myself in court"?
I don't recall exactly what they said in response.
And then, based on that interaction, you arrested them for witness intimidation, correct?
Well, there was further interaction. It wasn't just the response to "how are you doing?" They made threats and they were ultimately arrested, yes.
Anybody else other than Mike Lank that you were friends with?
Not that I am friends with. I knew of Officer Sean Good, but I wouldn't say I was friends with him. I just knew who he was.
Here he is, Sergeant.
Hi, sir.
Hey, what's up? Why are you shaking, Sergeant Good?
Shaking, bud.
Yeah, you are. What, do you got withdrawals, bro?
What can I help you with?
What were you just doing at my car?
Checking on a car.
For what?
Parked in a cemetery in the back lot.
Oh my God! A public cemetery! Huh?
Shut off your camera quicker.
Shut off my camera quicker? What do you mean, shut off my camera? What do you mean, shut it off?
Shut it off. You don't want to know where you've been parked.
What?
You heard me.
Oh, so you're watching me live, huh?
Maybe someone told us.
Oh, maybe. Who, the Alberts?
No.
Oh, no way, huh?
Request?
Did you have that running when you were at my camera, at my car?
Sure.
You did? Sure, or you just being a fucking smartass?
Public request.
Dude, are you on drugs?
You?
You got dark fucking spots under your eyes and you're shaking, dude.
Go ahead.
Even your fucking face is shaking.
Anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, why are you targeting people for coming in here to... What are you doing?
Want to fill out a FOIA request? Other than that, I have nothing else to say to you.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
Great talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Fucking piece of shit. Yeah. Targeting people because they're filming in fucking Canton. Go ahead, take that. I don't want it. You obviously do fucking care because you were just at my car. Fucking getting my personal information for no fucking reason. No legal reason. You can't use the seizure system because you just want to. You have to fucking actually be investigating a crime or something with some sort of probable cause of a crime. Okay? All right. You guys fucking target me. It's gonna be a bad fucking day because there's gonna be a lot of people in this fucking town keeping an eye on you guys. Okay, sure. Yeah, you guys are above the law. Qualified immunity is great, isn't it? Yeah. Fucking real piece of shit you are. Sergeant Good. You're no fucking good, dude. What was your badge number?
1355.
1350.
Anything else?
No. All right. Get back to work.
And you also knew that Officer Lank was very good friends with the Albert family.
Good friends, yes.
You knew that Mike Lank and Chris Albert had a long-standing friendship, correct?
Correct.
You just indicated you also knew Officer Good, is that right?
Didn't know him. I said I knew of him.
Okay. With regard to names like Seraph, Delaney, not so much.
Seraph has a sister that's the same age as my sister, but I had never, to my knowledge, met Seraph.
And of all the officers who responded to the scene, the two who actually went inside the Albert home to talk to Brian Albert and others was, in fact, Mike Lank and Officer Good.
I don't remember Officer Good in the house. I only remember Officer Lank.
The reason you know that, the reason you have a memory of what was happening inside the house is because you were allowed to actually go into that home, correct?
Correct.
And you went into that home before any of the officers went into the home. Is that right?
Correct.
You were allowed to have private conversations with Brian Albert?
I woke Brian Albert up.
Were you allowed to have private conversations with Brian Albert?
Yes.
And you were allowed to have private conversations with your sister, Nicole?
Yes.
Did Brian Albert give you any advice as a police detective what you should do or say when you were interviewed?
No.
Did he give you any advice as a police detective what you should do with your cell phone?
No.
Did he tell you that the police might want to get a hold of your cell phone at some point?
No.
Did you ever discuss the idea of potentially deleting any of those calls that were made in that early morning?
Absolutely not.
Would you tell us if you did?
Yes, because I'm an honest and truthful person.
And everyone was permitted to discuss the circumstances of the evening before going into the early morning hours with each other with no police there, correct?
I sat with my family in shock and horror.
Were you allowed to discuss the circumstances of the night before going into the early morning hours amongst yourselves without any police presence? Yes or no?
There was no reason for us to be allowed or not allowed. We did nothing wrong.
Understand my question? Did you get it?
Yes, I understand your question.
Can you answer it, yes or no? Were you allowed, that group of folks, were you allowed to discuss the case without a police presence?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned on Friday your observations of the taillight that day. You told Mr. Lally that you indicated that the taillight looked, when you saw it, just like the photograph that he showed you, correct?
I told him it was hard to make out and with the snow on it, but it looked, in the picture that he showed.
He showed you a second photo, a close-up, basically, of the SUV and Sally. Is that right?
Yes.
And you said, yeah, that's the condition of the taillight, correct?
Yes.
You also told Trooper Proctor about your observations of the taillight on that same day, the 29th, right?
Correct.
That's literally the same day that you saw the taillight, correct?
Correct.
Just a few hours later, is that right?
Correct.
And what you told Trooper Proctor that day was that you, quote, saw a crack in it, end quote, correct?
I told him that the taillight was cracked.
Matter of fact, the words that you used were, you actually said, I saw a crack in it, correct?
That's what he said I said. I'm telling you, I said the taillight was cracked.
This is another example of him screwing up your words, correct?
You'd have to ask Trooper Proctor.
So I'm asking you, did you say, I saw a crack in it?
I said the taillight was cracked.
So you didn't say, I saw a crack in it, right?
I said the taillight was cracked.
You see that photograph? You were showing this photograph on Friday. Does that look like the taillight has a crack in it?
It's cracked, yes.
It's actually completely missing.
Yeah. And I believe in one of the reports, one of the many reports, it will say that I said it was cracked and missing pieces.
Right. Does that look like it's cracked and missing pieces, or does that look like the entirety of the taillight is basically gone?
Again, in that picture, there are the red pieces, there are some of it still there. So it's cracked and missing. In a state of shock, that was my description.
Got it. So in a state of shock, you said there was a crack in it.
No,
Hours after,
I said it was cracked. I never said there was a crack in it. I've told you that Celebrate report was extremely hard to read.
right. The fact is, there are no calls on your own phone extraction between you and John O'Keefe between 12:14 and 12:50. Would you just agree with that, at least on that report?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
The fact is that you deleted your call records before you turned your phone in, didn't you, Ms. McCabe? That's what that report shows.
Absolutely not.
You sanitized your phone because you didn't want the police to know who you had been calling, or the fact that you had been calling John O'Keefe's phone incessantly, correct?
Incorrect. I willingly turned over my phone.
After you deleted your phone call logs, correct?
Absolutely not.
To make sure the record is clear, did you delete any of your calls before you turned your phone into law enforcement?
I spoke with the two officers that I handed my phone over to, and I asked if I could delete the personal conversations with my daughters. And they said absolutely yes, that I could.
So other than calls with your daughters that you deleted, did you delete any other calls on your phone at all?
There were text messages. It was actually text messages with my daughters that I deleted, and that was all I deleted.
Did you delete any phone calls?
I do not recall deleting any phone calls at all. I would have no reason to delete anything.
Tell them he never went in the house was the story that had been concocted between and among this group of people on this chat, correct?
Objection.
No. John never went in the house. It wasn't a story. It was the truth. And it is the truth.
Just like she said, I hit him.
Correct. I was not going to call Peg O'Keefe on the way to see her son at the hospital.
Check on your friend? That was just too much.
I wanted to ask Carrie. I'm sure she was boggled down and probably did not want to speak with anyone. It was a simple thing. I made sure I got Carrie Roberts' number so I could check in and see how John was doing. Also, we had just been through an extremely traumatic event together. There's nothing evil here.
Did you take any steps whatsoever, any steps whatsoever, to influence Carrie Roberts' statements?
No.
Did you write a text to the group, including Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, and Matt McCabe, where you informed them that, quote, Carrie is here going over timeline?
Correct.
So you reported back to Brian, Nicole, and Matt that Carrie was where?
She came over my house.
And you two sat down and went over a, quote, timeline together.
Peggy spoke to Carrie.
Yes or no? I didn't ask about Peggy.
Well, that's where the timeline started at.
Did you ask Carrie, or did Carrie come home, show up at your house, and quote unquote go over a timeline?
Carrie showed up asking to sit down with me to do a timeline so we would remember everything that had happened.
And you wanted to be super helpful about that, right?
Objection, Your Honor.
Ask it differently.
Sure. You wanted to be helpful to Carrie Roberts.
The two of us were trying to figure out what had happened to our friend.
And so you made sure that you created and drafted with Carrie Roberts a timeline, correct?
I didn't make sure of anything. She was the one that asked me to do it.
And not only did you create a timeline, you then reported back to your group, Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Matt McCabe, that she was creating this timeline with you on February 1st, 2022. Isn't that right?
Yes.
After you created or drafted this timeline with Carrie, she actually sat for an interview with the police, did she not? That's not in the chats. I'm just asking. She sat down for an interview with the police, didn't she?
When?
You tell me. It's my question.
I'm not sure of when you're talking about.
Okay, let's start over.
Yes.
After this timeline was created on February 1st, at some point thereafter, Carrie Roberts conducted a formal interview with the police about this case, correct?
Do you have the report of that date?
We're sort of bearing the lead. She did the interview in your living room, ma'am. Right?
There was on Tuesday, two officers came to the house and she sat in the other room and spoke with them.
She did the interview at your house.
Oh, they came to my house to interview me, and she happened to be there, so they asked if they could speak with her also.
Okay. Did she or did she not do an interview at your house?
Did, yes.
That wasn't that hard. You made sure you gave Carrie Roberts everything she needed for that interview, correct? Did you tell her everything that you wanted her to say?
No, I did not.
Did you in any way attempt to influence her testimony before she gave that interview in your living room?
Absolutely not. Carrie is her own person.
But then you did report her progress to the Albert and McCabe group in that group chat. In a group text with Brian Albert, Nicole Albert, Matt McCabe, you wrote, she's telling him everything in all caps, 2 exclamation points.
Yes.
And then you went on to say at 2:55 p.m., basically the same moment, quote, all this stuff, end quote, correct?
Correct.
So when you said a couple of minutes ago that you weren't listening to what she was saying, that was a lie, wasn't it? Back, or her success in that interview, in your mind?
I absolutely not. That is not how it went. I was horrified because Carrie's a blunt person, not like me. And she had made a comment about Miss Reed and Mr. O'Keefe's relationship. And I was shocked and horrified that she said it the way that she did.
You were so shocked and horrified that
I said, oh my God, she's telling them everything. Yes.
you decided it was so important that you needed to report that back to Brian Albert and his friends.
I was
family.
I was horrified.
So you reported that back.
Yes, I said she told them everything.
When you were first confronted with these messages at a separate proceeding in June of 2023, you claimed that you couldn't remember what that exchange was about, correct?
Correct.
And now you just all of a sudden have this newfound memory of exactly what that text message was referring to, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Yes, because Carrie Roberts said a statement and it jogged. I said, oh my God, that's what I meant when I said she said everything.
When did she say this statement?
Probably in the fall. She has made this statement a few times in reference to Karen.
You and Carrie Roberts are still coordinating your statements together.
Oh no, we're not. It's just an opinion she has of Miss Reed. I forgot that I had written it, and one day Carrie made the statement, and I'm sure it happens to everyone. You forget something, and then you're like, oh my God, that's what it was.
Now, I'm not sure that happens to everyone.
Objection.
Sustained.
Let me ask you a different question. When you were asked under oath a year ago, when things were fresher in your mind, you were asked specifically what you were referring to, and your answer was, I have no idea, correct?
Correct.
Because you didn't want to tell them that you had coordinated your statement with Carrie Roberts. Isn't that right?
No, that is not right. I did not remember what it was.
You were eavesdropping on an interview Carrie Roberts was having with law enforcement in their official capacity.
No, I was sitting eating dinner, and some of the things, obviously, I overheard, but I was not eavesdropping. I'm saying there's a possibility if I'm sitting in this room eating dinner and someone's in another room talking, you can hear bits and pieces. Was I eavesdropping? No. Is there some big cover-up story? No.
Well, why, Ms. McCabe, does your testimony keep evolving? A second ago, you told this jury, you said, I couldn't hear a thing. All I could hear was voices, like muffled voices from the other room. She was going on and on about something.
Yeah.
And then when I confronted you with the text message where you said, she's telling them everything, now it's, well, I may have heard a couple of things. Which is it?
No, she was going on and on and on like she does.
And you were listening on and on and on like you do.
I was probably hearing bits and pieces. We had both lost our friend. Carrie Roberts was in shock, as was I in shock. The two of us had all this information that just kept coming back to us and back to us. And it's terrifying when you go through an experience and you're in shock. And Carrie was remembering things. I was remembering things. At the end of the day, our friend was dead, and we were trying to figure out what had happened to him together. We were all trying to figure out what had happened, because that's what you do when you lose somebody you love.
You got the story out that you're trying to get out from Carrie Roberts. Right?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
There is no story. There's facts and truth on this side. There's no story. The story that you've created is not the truth.
Did I create, I hit him, or did you?
That's fact.
A fact that conveniently you didn't mention in your report to Lank, grand jury, right? That kind of fact.
Objection.
Is that right?
That is the fact I mentioned. So in some reports, it's there.
January 29th, you text the group, quote, Carrie talked to cops and kept it simple.
Yes.
There's yet another text from Brian's wife, Nicole, on January 29th. She says, quote, we'll get more info tomorrow. Don't want to text about it, end quote. And then you texted, right, correct?
Correct.
What's that about?
We decided that we would talk on the phone. My children look on my phone. Her children look on her phone. We were working with the police. I was sharing information and everything that had happened. We didn't want it to leave our little circle because we were trying to figure out what happened, and we're not going to go running around letting people see, oh my gosh, they think this might have happened or that might have happened. It was nothing more than, let's not text about it.
So you wanted to keep it, in your words, in your little circle, correct?
Correct. I didn't want it all out there what we had thought had happened. I was going to let the police do their job.
Anything significant happen on January 30th in connection with this case? Any meetings, any get-togethers, anything that you can think of?
On the way home, Carrie Roberts' daughter is good friends with Michael Lank. So we dropped her off at Michael Lank's house, and Mike's wife came out of the house. Him and Carrie are friends, and she, jumped in the car and was consoling Carrie. Her daughter went into the house.
Okay. And then you just drove away?
No. Michael's wife came out of the house.
Okay. And y'all had a conversation about what?
She got in the car, and her and Carrie are friends, and she was checking on Carrie. And, Carrie's a talker, so could have been an hour.
Could have been hours standing outside?
Sitting in the car.
Never came in the house?
I might have ran in to go to the bathroom.
It's the back end of a blizzard. It's freezing cold outside. Sitting in the car for an hour?
The car was running, Carrie, and they were talking. It's her friend.
Did you have any conversation before your testimony today with anybody about you going to Michael Lank's house on January 30th?
Yes.
Tell me about that. Who was it and when?
It was a couple of weeks ago at the DA's office.
You met with folks at the DA's office. Who'd you meet with?
Mr. Lally, Miss McLaughlin, Steve Nelson, Trooper Brian Tully, I believe, and another woman, I can't remember her name, unfortunately.
Someone from the DA's office?
Yes.
Lynn Beelan?
No, she's here today. She works with Steve Nelson.
But an employee of the DA's office?
Yes.
It sounds like a pretty big meeting.
I wouldn't call it a big meeting. There was, 5 of them?
How long did you, 5 of them and then you? Right?
My daughter Allie came with me also.
The meeting's getting bigger. Anybody else?
No, we both went.
Was Allie in the room when you were talked to by the DA?
Allie and I were both in the room when they went over how this all works, because this is all brand new to us.
Taking notes?
I do not believe anyone was taking notes. It was a casual meeting to explain this process.
Was that meeting recorded in any way that you're aware of?
No.
How long did the meeting last?
Allie and I were probably in the room, approximately 20 minutes. Then I left, and they spoke with her, and then I went back in, and they spoke with me.
How long did they speak with you?
Honestly, maybe half hour.
Mr. McCabe, when we started this conversation, it was because you said, in answer to my question, was anything ever brought up to you about this meeting at Lank's house?
Mm-hmm.
You said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they did talk to you about your testimony. It wasn't just about the process, correct?
I asked what discovery had been turned in regard to me.
So you wanted to prepare to make sure that you knew what you might be asked on cross-examination, correct?
I wanted to know what was coming, yes.
During this meeting, did Mr. Lally tell you one of the things that's going to be coming is you had an off-the-books meeting at Lank's house for 45 minutes. Did he tell you that?
No, that's not how I was told.
Did he tell you that the defense had uncovered a report that established that you were actually at Michael Lank's house for 45 minutes that had never been reported to the defense or the prosecution before the phone extraction had been done? Did he tell you that?
I was asked, were you at Michael Lank's on the 30th?
So you've had a lot of time to come up with a story about why you were at Michael Lank's, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
I didn't need time to make up a story because I have the truth of why we went.
And the truth, according to you, is you pulled up at Michael Lank's house at first responding officer and friends of the Albans had a meeting with him the next day that was never reported to anybody for any purpose. Just met with his wife out in the car while the car was running for 45 minutes to an hour. That's your story.
It's not a story, it's the truth. Carrie dropped her daughter off. The wife came out. Carrie is a talker. They started talking. A tragedy had happened the day before.
It is interesting, would you not agree, that the day before you have this off-the-books meeting at Michael Lank's house. Nicole Albert says, we'll get more info tomorrow, meaning the very day you show up at Lank's house.
That is what it is. That is the truth.
A lot of coincidence.
Objection.
What did Mr. Lally show you in respect of this issue about this meeting at Michael Lank's house?
He showed me nothing.
He just told you about it.
Brian Tully told me.
Okay, what did Mr. Tully tell you? Trooper Tully, what exactly did he tell you at this meeting about this Michael Lank issue?
He said, did you go to Michael Lank's on January 30th? And at first I said, no, I've never been to his house. And then I thought about it and I said, oh my gosh, yes, I did go there. And that was the extent of the conversation.
You said, yeah, I did go there, and he didn't ask a follow-up, like, what the heck were you doing at Michael Lank's house the day after this issue? He didn't ask a follow-up like that?
I do not believe he did.
So, Trooper Tully, had you come down for an interview, he confronted you with a fact that had never been disclosed before, to wit, you showed up at Michael Lank's house, and when you said, yeah, oh yeah, hang on, I think your words were, oh my gosh, yeah, I think I did go there. And he didn't ask a follow-up question?
He was there. You're spinning all of this.
Ma'am, I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't spin. There's a judge here to make sure that I don't spin. I'm asking you a question. It's very direct.
I do not believe he asked me a follow-up question.
So that was the end of that conversation about Michael Lank, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Lally didn't have any follow-up questions?
I don't believe Mr. Lally was in the room.
Who else? I thought you said Mr. Lally, Mr. McLaughlin.
They were. They might not have been in the room at that time.
I see. So Mr. Lally just happened to, just saunter out?
It was a different time.
So Mr. Lally was in and out of the conversation?
Mr. Lally was not there when this conversation happened.
Well, why is that?
Because I met with Brian Tully and he was not there.
The same report that has you at Michael Lank's house also has you picking up Nicole Albert going by 34 Fairview just before you went to Michael Lank's house. You aware of that?
We did not pick up Nicole Albert.
So you went by 34 Fairview, then diverted, and right after you went by 34 Fairview, went directly over to Michael Lank's house. What was the reason that you stopped by 34 Fairview?
We didn't stop by. Maybe Carrie slowed down, but we did not stop by 34.
So you did a drive-by 34 Fairview. Giggles? Why?
Nope, that's how we get to Michael Lank's house.
If the report shows that you actually stopped at 34 Fairview and then went to Michael Lank's house, did we have another oh my gosh moment?
Nope, no oh my gosh moment. We did not pick up Nicole Albert.
Did anybody else go with you over to Michael Lank's house?
No, it was Carrie, myself, and her daughter.
Your Honor, maybe
Okay. Jurors, we're going to try and go right up to 1 o'clock, okay?
Because McCabe, we've talked in some detail about your calls with John O'Keefe on the morning of January 29th. I just want to run through those time-wise very quickly just to orient you, if I can, and then I'll ask you some specific questions about it. There was a call at 12:14 a.m. There was a call at 12:18 and 47 seconds. Then there's the 12:29 and 44-second call that you indicated was not answered. There was a 12:41 call from you to John O'Keefe. There was a 12:41 and 54-second call from you to him. There was a 12:43 and 19-second call from you to him. 12:46 a.m. and 16 seconds from you to him, 12:47 and 52 seconds from you to him, and 12:50 and 37 seconds from you to him, correct?
Correct.
You saw in his extraction report that all of those calls after 12:18 were missed calls. In other words, the only two calls that were answered were the 12:14 and 12:18. Everything else was a missed call. And Ms. McCabe, according to the extraction reports that you've seen this morning, comparing yours to his, every single one of those calls was deleted off your phone. Correct? According to the reports.
According to that report, yes.
Have you ever misplaced your phone?
Yes.
Just in life. Everybody does it, right?
Yes.
What's one of the first things you do in your house when you misplace your phone? What do you do?
I'll ask them to call my phone.
Right? Even over and over and over, right?
Correct.
Could be as many as 5, 6, 7 times.
Usually I hear it the first or second time.
And you might do that if you're searching for a missing phone, correct?
Correct.
With regard to the calls that were deleted from your phone, you were asked about this under oath at another proceeding, weren't you?
Correct.
And you claimed at another proceeding that you had an explanation for all these missed calls, starting 12:29, 12:41, 12:41, 12:43, 12:46, 12:47, 12:50. You have an explanation for that, right? You explained that these calls were what? These missed calls, incessant missed calls. What were they? You used a word. I'd like to do it.
I believe I used the word butt dials.
You claimed that every one of these calls was a butt dial. Is that right?
Yes.
So according to you, you literally butt dialed John O'Keefe's phone 6 times in the span of 19 minutes. Is that right?
I don't remember making any of those calls, so my assumption is I put my phone in my back pocket, and that was it.
So that means you would have had to interact with that phone 14 times over the course of 19 minutes at the exact time frame that the Commonwealth suggests John O'Keefe lost his life.
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask that differently, and this will be your last question for today, please.
Yes, Your Honor. The period between 12:29 and 12:50, which is the exact period that you were, quote, butt dialing John multiple times, that's also the exact period that John O'Keefe was rendered incapacitated.
Objection.
That's sustained. We'll start up again tomorrow, okay?
Thank you.
All right, folks.
Not so tough, and love is